It's possible.
誰が止めても一切聞く気しない。夢はメールも掴むも自分次第。十分に前のをかける自由自在。こんなイケてるチームなんざ他にない You know 大きな3本柱のもとにだ。真っ赤な顔してどうしたまるやり合うなんて正気かい。とりとりしきたいかにも俺がここのリーダー。止めれるもんなら止めてみな。 Oh yeah かかってこい。逃げも隠れもしないぜボーイ。圧倒的でなこういうもん。それ高く飛べろ簡単でしょ。尻尾巻くくらいなら下がってろ。最高が何か証明しよう。 Go crazy。そう固まんなルーキー。そうせっかしなさんなグルーピー。おかげさま温まった空気だがこの先ちょっとばっか注意。そうや like a movie でしょね52。でも言ってんだろこっちも少しも手は抜かないのが流儀。どこだってフィールド先って発展するトッペンビルド。勝利の女神からのキスを受けたお前にとってのビースト。幾度もキスを追ってなおこのスピードフォー。止めれるもんなら止めてみな。 Oh yeah かかってこい。逃げも隠れもしないぜボーイ。圧倒的でなこういうもん。空より高く飛べろ簡単でしょ。尻尾巻きくらいなら下がってろ。最高が何か証明しよう。 Go crazy。 そうお前にもせまだ遊びたくないぜ。やってやる段階だって。ハンでもなんでもかんでもあってもかんでもないこのワンキャンのショータイム。一度覚悟夢にかける担保。今日も明日も一度に引けばラスト。どっからどこまでリアルかスラグラグラグラグラグラグのまますますまったく役が塞ぐ自由を歌うのさ。 Oh yeah かかってこい。逃げも隠れもしないぜボーイ。圧倒的でなこういうもん。空より高く飛べろ簡単でしょ。尻尾巻くくらいなら下がってろ。最高が何か証明しよう。 Everybody この世界を遊べ。
Listen, yeah, people put your guns up まずは俺がランダップ走り回って奴らをガンショップ。ワンに3そしてサバイバー。悲観三ボーイこの世界に生きろ。視力体力山をぜブローボーなんだって真ん中はザクバラなんだ。そうバナナバナナワンパンガンガンのゴンゴンゴンゴン One time for your mind 生き抜けるんだ World
付きまとうさいつの痛みも気高い髪の周りの今かりも巻かれた種も花咲けば誰の生きて打ち込み死ねの矢をもう
It's like me, yes, like you and I. Touch us, don't give up the fight. 今そこの瞬間
1, start. Ring, up, super gun shooter. No boy can this, we hope there's a light. Free, down, ひくれる前がピーク。OP 戦えばピース。Same, sharp 好きなガンクラップ。真下で揺らせ第一はダンサボー。Rock, yo, body, moving 朝まで grooving 雑貨新品。We're gonna shoot 攻めなく奴はグー。あのバンストップでスクラン。We're gonna shoot 攻めなく奴はグー。あのバンストップでスクラン。Clack, them, crash. Clack, them, crash. Player 2, start.
Hey 神な神の水を知る祈りなしっかり臨界心と心一人きりきり開くキラー生き残るために握るトリガーセットアップしてフルメダルジャケットテンポアップしてテンターだラウンド2新しい世界へブランドニューワンとシュート2班シューター新鉄してみそすり運動切り替え祭術水訓動運動外じゃないが外地が流れる白い旗上げても止まらないでポイン加算加速するまだ Can't get any harder このカラーだバラバラなんだこれからだ Let's continue だまだまだ
Player 3, start.
ほらスタートでいこう奴は遠くにパブリックエネミー心の目は不安の煙に流れつまずはファブリー今現在理論不安わがままだけのプラン頭の中に浮かんだフリスビー届かず信念ブラウンサイレンなり響く頭の中で誰もが待っていたぜ希望君がヒーローまたるためと使ってた手を立てた手捉える録音避けることだからって
Player 4, start.
Yo サフライのガンダーここのハンターコンティニュータスキは誰だお前の番だ SOS Yes チェックとデス僕ポット突っ立ってればサドンですナイスアタック Yeah ナイスディフェンス必要なのはそうサバイバルのセンス Yo 生きろ生きろ Here we go Here we go アイスコメイクでお前がヒーロー
Player 5, start.
Hello everybody, this is Zada. I am here on Off the Dial today. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. I have in the voice chat with me, I have a special guest. This is Banana Beards. How you doing, Banana?
I'm doing great today, Zada.
Good deal.
How about yourself?
I am hanging in there. It is definitely it's definitely going to be an exciting start to the game. We're actually waiting for one player to get into the room at this point. And then there's Potato Chip. We are going to be starting out today's tourney with Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track. So this is going to be the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels versus the Bucket Wielding Bongos. This is a 3v3 tournament today, and there is a final boss for the winner. So Banana, what can you tell me about Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track? What should we be looking for today?
If we see a slosher here, I would be not surprised. This is, in my opinion, as a slosher main, the best map for sloshers in the game, and this is a mode where it's true as ever. As clam blitz maps go, this one is very aggressive, having a clam basket that can be reached very quickly from mid. The best pushes, and what I hope that we'll see today, often comes from both sides. You can take it the way that most people bring the Rainmaker, for a slightly slower score, but you can also bring it straight from mid. And
Alright.
using both at the same time is usually the most effective strategy, and I'll be interested if we see that today.
Alright. Well, let's lock this down. Let's get this show on the road today. Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track. So we are doing some Swiss rounds to start out with. There are 3 teams today, and we'll be moving through them. A couple things about Off the Dial and kind of the way that they do the tournaments here is basically players of all ranks come together, and then based on calculating a calculation is done based on the scores that everybody has in their various rank modes. That plus the addition of the play style creates what are supposedly fair and balanced teams. Now, from what I've seen, they usually are pretty balanced, and so a lot of times I will see matches going into overtime. I will see, we will see kind of not the one-sided dominance that we sometimes get. So here we go. It is Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Okay, well, we aren't seeing any buckets.
Interesting picks in both teams. No buckets. That is definitely a surprise to me. We see a very, very interesting Clan Blitz comp from, which team is that? One with the remix. They have a Booyah Bomb and 2 Ballers. Both of those are very good specials for attacking the basket. On the other side, we have a little bit more of a aggressive, well, I shouldn't say aggressive, but a little bit more balanced comp. You have a Bomb Rush, a Hammer, and an Ink Armor. And those are for paint, support, and aggression, respectively. So we'll see how these stack up.
So it looks like right now we have Kirby in the mid with that roller, and he's kind of fighting the brushes there. He managed to get bored with the brush, and it looks like we have a little bit more action coming in as Hex comes in right to the mid, trying to take over mid. Potato Chip's in the back, kind of checking out mid, seeing what's going on. Currently, Purple Team has Purple Team, which, by the way, is the bucket-wielding Bongos. Green Team is the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Purple Team currently has 17 buckets. This looks like a push.
Yeah, Kirby is trying to get a shark on the ball, but was not successful.
So Purple got one of them in.
But Rippy might be able to prevent the second one from going in, and he does.
And he does.
Only a push to 77. That is pretty easy to come back from, because they already have the Pity Clam, and if they create another clam quickly, they'll be to far past 77 very quick. And it looks like they are striking back.
They are striking back hard. We do have a disconnect.
On the side, yeah, there is a disconnection on the side of the bucket wielding Bongos. So, what are the disconnection rules in this tournament, Zada?
That is a fantastic question. The disconnect appears to have happened within the first 2 minutes. I want to say that there is I will check with our TO on what the scoop is on this. Our TO is DJam today, so let me get a question into him.
I do believe that Hex on the side of bucket wielding Bongos is possibly still playing the game, which does usually make disconnection rules obsolete.
That's true. When there is a... Okay, the redo, the team with the DC stops playing immediately and allows the other team to KO. Do not redo if any player on the same team DCs again in the same round. Same player DCs. So yeah, it looks like they've stopped playing. They probably didn't realize they had a disconnect. So if this team can, if Green Team can knock it out, that will be the end of it. We'll restart the match.
And they should be able to knock it out. They have the clams already.
Yep. And there we go. So that will be a replay. So now we kind of have a look at what they're going to be like, and that, in some ways, that gives the other team an advantage in terms of knowing kind of what the opening strategies are going to be.
Yeah, one thing I would say about the opening that I found interesting is that on the beginning, for the first maybe 30 seconds of the game, the Anarchy Cold-Blooded Angels, while they didn't take a turf advantage per se, the mid was heavily contested the whole time. But while the mid was being contested and no team was having an advantage there, the Anarchy Cold-Blooded Angels did collect 11 clams and were ready to strike the moment that they got the advantage in mid.
Yeah. I mean, I was kind of impressed with how they were kind of getting ready to go just from mid, just like you said. They were definitely there was definitely the defensive mid, which was preventing some of those hard pushes coming in. So I think that was definitely in play there. So currently, let's see where we're at. We have all of Anarchy Cold-Blooded Angels here. We, however, are missing one player on the bucket-wielding bongos.
I believe we are missing board.
I believe that's right. That looks right. And yes, we do have a redo. Redo is authorized on this one. DJam has just communicated that we are good for redo. So yeah, Humpback Pump Track. You know, this is always kind of this is one of my favorites in a lot of ways. Although on Clam Blitz, you know, it's interesting how you can kind of lose track of things sometimes. There's a couple different ways to get at that clam basket, and you know, every once in a while you're gonna run into somebody just waiting for you there.
Yeah, Clam Blitz is definitely the most difficult mode to have good communication on.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, whereas in other modes, there's always one or two objectives you track up. The whole map is basically the objective in Clam Blitz.
Exactly. It's in some ways, you know, I had somebody once make the comment that Clam Blitz is a lot more like turf, and that the entire map is the objective because you have to go to every piece of the map, whereas something like Tower Control is much more linear in terms of where you can expect action to occur.
The thing is that another similarity I would say along those lines is that on Clam Blitz, the map control actually does directly support the objective as opposed to indirectly, because the objective is to collect those clams, and when you have the turf mapped, you can, in fact, collect those much faster.
That's very true. That's very true. We have a bunch of booyahs coming out on the orange team. Currently, the orange team is oh my gosh, is the Anarchy Cold-Blooded Angels. The green team is the bucket-wielding bongos.
Very good 2v1 there from Board and Hex to take down the roller.
Nice. We have Rippy holding down the back line for the. I'm never gonna get these team names right. I always get my team names wrong.
Did manage to put in a clam, and Chip is getting a couple more in there. But 68 looks like where the push will end.
And that is the end of that push. That adds a 16 point penalty. Have a trade going on in mid right now. Seeing Hex building a clan. Orange team definitely has enough clams for a push if they can just get everything together. Hex managing to get that clam ready to go. The question is, they're fighting in mid quite a bit, so it looks like it's going to be tough for either of the teams to get a clam in, and it looks like with that baller explosion, what we're seeing is we're seeing green team getting that first clam in. Looks like Board with that brush is kind of pushing everybody away. And we have another disconnect. We have lost Kirby this time due to disconnection.
Kirby is, I believe, on the opposite team as the one that disconnected last time, so
That is correct.
would there be another replay for this?
That is a good question. That is a question that that we have for DJam. It looks like any player on the same. Yeah, these are different DCs. All right, we have Banana back in here. It looks like there probably was some instability in that lobby. It looks like a lot of people ended up disconnecting. When we lose one of our spectators, we know there's definitely something going on in there.
Yeah.
So there is something a little different about this particular tournament. Usually the teams have about 24 hours to practice, and in this case, the teams were only announced about 6 hours ago. So things are a little bit more behind than usual due to some technical or tentacle difficulties, as the case may be. Let's see if we can find a determination on whether we need to do another clam blitz on humpback pump track. Let me ping DJam.
I believe that there may be a I believe that the DC was probably later than the 2-minute mark, was it not?
I believe it was. Waiting for a determination from DJam on this right now. Okay, we have a redo, so we're going to redo this. This is third time's a charm, right? It was before
Surely.
the 2-minute mark.
And both teams have now DC'd, so this is the last game regardless of what happens.
That's right. So my recommendation to both teams is to play it out all the way. And all right, we have Kirby, Rippy, and TNS Splat all on the same team. And looks like we're good to go. Eventually, we will move off of Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track. At least that's my hope for today.
Indeed. The only difference that I did notice in the second game from the first game in terms of comp is that the brush player did switch from the Ink Brush Nouveau with Ink Mine and Baller to the permanent Ink Brush, which has Sprinkler and Armor. That might have been a counter pick to the Junior so that they can stack up against that armor.
Yep. Well, here we are, Clam Blitz on Humpback Pump Track. Feels like an old friend right now.
I must say that the Anarchy Angels have in fact changed up their comp quite significantly, actually.
This
from
is
the second.
You are absolutely right.
They're
This
now
is very different.
They're now running a Pro and an NZAP, so they did keep the armor the same, but now they do have bubbles, which are a very popular special, pushing it on Clam Blitz. We have two going down on both sides at the beginning here. Mid seems to be primarily purple. The Bongos have gotten quite a bit of mid control, but it might be getting it taken back from them now.
Looks like we have a lot of trading going on right in mid. Currently we are at 2 players. Now both teams are back to 3 players.
Yep. Purple team, Chip, bringing the armor out on its respawn.
Looks like Rippy managed to get the drop on board. That purple clam has despawned. Currently, orange team with Rippy is working on getting that clam in there. Looks like we have a multiple specials on the way in. Orange team has opened up the clam basket. Purple team on strong defense there, managing to clear out pretty much all of the orange team. So Kirby defending that purple clam right there.
It's a good play. You definitely do not want to lose power clams if you can avoid it.
So Kirby's just hanging on to that orange clam, and it looks like orange team is getting another one in. Seeing orange team taking a commanding lead. Again, orange team is the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Meanwhile, we've got the barrier closed. Looks like purple team is about to make that clam, but no, just shy. A little trade in mid. Right now, we only have the Splattershot Jr. up on purple team. Purple team is back to full strength. Got Hex with the Pity Clam. And it looks like we've got 2 clams in. Bucket-wielding bongos are making a push back. Unfortunately, there's nobody quite in position in order to take advantage of that push. So currently the score is 60 to 52. We've got Board with the hammer out. Unfortunately, creating quite a bit of a mess over by the orange basket. Purple missing just by the narrowest margin. Getting that clam in. Orange team on strong defense right now. And orange team is the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels, and purple team is the bucket-wielding bongos. Eventually I will get the names right. Hex holding on to that clam to purple team. And Rippy coming in with the Forged Splattershot Pro and stopping that clam push, but Board picking up that clam again. Looks like purple Board is going to make a solo push. And with a little bit of lag, there was a stop right there. Meanwhile, Hex has picked up that purple clam. Orange defense is very strong. We're seeing a lot of beacons right by the orange basket to aid in getting back there should something come up. And that's that. So the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels have taken the first round in this first Swiss round. All right. We'll wait for Banana Beards to get back into this round.
I'm on my way. My internet is struggling at the moment, it seems. So hopefully it will get better as the tournament progresses.
All right. So next up is Rainmaker on Walleye Warehouse. This, to me, is always one of those short maps where things can go wrong really quickly or they can go right very quickly, depending on your perspective.
Yes. Another interesting thing about this map is that it is very long. Specials that have a lot of range perform very well here.
Yeah, there isn't a
expect
lot. There aren't a lot of places to hide on the left and the right. It really is kind of a forward and backward type of map between the two spawns.
Yeah. Definitely what's important here is trying to not get full wiped. Because if you do get full wiped, especially if the opponents already have the Rainmaker, you can get pushed very hard very fast, and it's very difficult to recover from.
Yeah, I found that in pretty much all of the modes, well, except for maybe Clam Blitz, this particular map, that is very true. If a team is completely wiped, it is so easy to just move back in and take control. So it's yeah, we'll see how the defense works on this. So this is a very defense. That kind of indicates that it's going to be one of those types of maps where having a strong defense is going to actually be very helpful.
Yeah.
What kind of weapons do you think we're going to see on this one?
One thing that I definitely expect is that I think that at least one Stingray will be coming out. It is Rainmaker. Stingray is not as strong as it used to be, but it's still very strong, and this is a long, skinny map, which would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
I don't recall which player it was, but one of the players earlier was running a heavy Splatling remix, and I think that player might run a vanilla heavy Splatling on this map.
All right, well, let's see if the predictions are right. We are about to start Rainmaker on Walleye Warehouse. This is round 2. Ooh, seeing a charger.
We see a charger. Not quite the heavy remix that I had predicted, but a weapon that fills a very similar role.
Yeah, we are
What's
seeing
interesting about
we are seeing some
is,
range definitely on that team. There's a
on
Squiffer
Anarchy,
too.
despite having 3 people, they are in fact running a charger and a jet squelcher, so plenty of range to work with.
It's interesting. Each team has a roller. Each team has a charger. And each team has a shooter. Will the range actually make a difference in this one? That'll be the question.
Definitely.
Looks like Kirby is
What's
taking
very
a solo
interesting-
push right now. And it looks like we have Potato Chip with that Squiffer. Kind of holding things back. Orange pushing the Rainmaker back through mid. Potato Chip getting a snipe on Rippy. And also getting a Inkjet on TNS Splat. Hex currently carrying the Rainmaker. Orange is making a slow but determined push. Some good Rainmaker play right now by Hex. We have a Roller War right in front. Kirby stays alive for the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Here come those bubbles. And that gives the Rainmaker back to the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Kirby getting a double in the back corridor against the bucket-wielding Bongos. And Kirby just rolling Potato Chip. It's giving Blue an opportunity. Again, Blue being the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Blue has that opportunity to push in. They're getting a couple extra points on the tower. Rippy has the cap. So the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels taking round 2.
And that currently set for Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels, and that puts them in a very favorable position to make the final game.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So that is the end of this round, I believe. I don't believe we're going to all three. That is the end of the round. It is 2-0. So that will bring up. We have to find out what who our next group is.
In the meantime, I have figured out why my connection has been so poor in this tournament. My Switch is not hooked up to its LAN adapter, so I'm trying to get that fixed at the moment.
Aha. There's nothing like losing that LAN adapter. I will say, you know, it's kind of too bad that Nintendo didn't build an Ethernet connector right into the dock or something like that, because, boy, once you get into a certain level in this game without a LAN adapter, it gets kind of tough. All right, what is...
Yeah, LAN adapter is total necessity for playing online games on a Nintendo console.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that I have wired networking throughout my house. It makes it that much easier. So it looks like Swiss Round 2 is coming up, and it will be the bucket-wielding bongos versus the chaotic camp crashes. So I'm going to remake the lobby at this point. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right, we are just in the process of getting back. I'm going to bring up the current brackets here. Let me do a little bit of work on this to show where we're at. Currently, looking at Smash GG, we are in round 2. Bucket Wielding Bongos versus the Chaotic Camp Crashes. Bucket Wielding Bongos is a team that's made up of mostly United States players. That we've seen them before. That it would be Hex, Board, and Potato Chip. We also now are seeing for the very first time today the Chaotic Camp Crashes. That is a U.S.-Canada mixed team. We have Dre, TNSMLG, and Choyo plus Choco Yoshi. Yes, I will get it right one of these days. So we're currently waiting for Banana Beards to get back into the room. We are currently experiencing those infamous technical difficulties that we sometimes have. So hopefully this isn't too disturbing for everybody. We will be getting started very shortly. Our first map is going to be Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness. This again is one of those maps where it's kind of interesting to see what's going on. Let me check something real quick. But yeah, one thing about Rainmaker on this map is that you're kind of constrained in the directions in which you can go. You have the grates that you can go across, or you can kind of come around on the zip line. But all of the routes in always seem to I get killed on them all the time, which should be no surprise if you're a normal viewer of mine. I am in the middle of trying to get something working here. 1 second. But it looks like Banana is still offline. I think in the interest of time, we are going to start this match. So let's get things going. We have everybody in the room. Let's get some Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness going. I'm going to ready this thing up. Of course, I will be on Spectate. Our Bucket Wielding Bongos are going to be Hex and Board and Potato Chip. That leaves our Chaotic Camp Crashes. That's right. That would be Choyo, Dre, and MLG. Let's get this Rainmaker match on Muscle Forge Fitness going. Welcome back, Banana. And yes, it is the technical difficulties that come with all tournaments and all streams. Believe me, I've run into all of them over the years. And yes, we are currently waiting for everybody to ready up in this room. Waiting for Choco Yoshi to press the A button. Looks like time is going to run out. Gear selection, always one of those things where if you have a lot of gear to choose from, you sometimes run into some problems. All right, here we are. It is Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness. Try saying that 35 times fast. I'm not going to. Here we go. On purple, we have the Bucket Wielding Bongos, and on green, we have the Chaotic Camp Crashes. Let's see how this team with dualies and splatlings and a Kensa Splattershot does against a, a Splash Neo, a Roller, and yes, a Squiffer. We have seen that Squiffer before. Board with that Roller. Kind of putting a stop there. We are seeing the bucket-wielding bongos making counter push. Board getting caught up in traffic. The Rainmaker back in mid after that counter push by the bucket-wielding bongos. Currently, we do have the chaotic camp crashes. Trying to pop that Rainmaker, but no, the bucket-wielding bongos are working on controlling mid. That Rainmaker shield is still intact. There is finally a pop. We've got Hex with the solo push off to the right. Board managing to control the area around the Rainmaker. But we see Dre with that Splatling managing to hold back the opposing team. So we've got Hex with that Rainmaker push right now. Pushing in toward the podium. And is this going to be a cap? Almost, but no, stopped at 1. Got Chakayoshi stopping the push right at 1. But Board is capping it anyway. So guys, that is the bucket-wielding bongos taking this first round of Rainmaker on Muscle Forge Fitness. All right, you back, Banana? All right, so the next round coming up. Hey, Banana, how are you doing?
I am doing all right. Still have not quite figured out my network. But
that is the
we're getting there hopefully soon.
That is one of the that is definitely one of the fun parts of streaming and playing games, is that you really have to mess with your network a lot in order to keep things up to date. All right, so next up is tower control on Skipper Pavilion. Looks like everybody is still here. Let's get it started to keep things moving along. Banana, we will get you back into this room once your internet's working. So we have tower control on Skipper Pavilion. This can always be an interesting one. You know, at least in my experience, I've had plenty of fun on tower control on this, and by fun, I mean I die a lot. But it's you know, this again, this is the only bilaterally symmetric map in the game. That means that it isn't rotationally symmetric, where each side is a mirror of the other. It's left to right mirror instead of front to back. So that makes it a little bit interesting. Sometimes you can argue that depending on if you're a sniper, one side actually has an advantage over the other. Very slight. Very much like the old days of Salt Spray Rig on Splatoon 1. We are waiting for the chaotic camp crashes to ready up here. And yes, that sound of paper rustling that you hear, that indeed is paper rustling. Yes, I did something unconscionable. I printed out the stages and I printed out the list of players so that I could keep track of everything today, along with with 4 screens. So yes, it is that kind of day. Here we go with tower control on Skipper Pavilion. Seeing a Luna Blaster, Dynamo Roller, and a Junior. We're also seeing a regular Splat Roller, that Splatling Remix, and some Glugas. So this will be an interesting matchup here. We got Chakayoshi just getting right on the tower to begin with. Currently, that is a team wipe that we're seeing on the bucket wielding bongos. The chaotic camp crashes are definitely pushing in hard right now. That is yet another team wipe. They are pushing that tower really, really hard right now. So we're seeing some strong defense coming up now. Got Potato Chip making sure that the tower is being defended. And yes, we are seeing that the bucket wielding bongos are fighting back. They are pushing the tower back in the opposite direction. Got Dre with the Splatling, trying to hold that tower back. MLG stopping the yellow push. Those Glugas. And MLG continuing the blue push, avoiding the dynamo roller. And we have that Booyah Bomb right in mid. And taking away the options for the bucket wielding bongos. We have Dre kind of holding the back line here by the tower. Dre having a little bit of a problem getting the angle on it. Hex coming in with that Luna Blaster Neo. Trying to retake control of the tower and send it back to mid. Setting up a new push by the yellow team. The bucket wielding bongos. And we're seeing a Booyah Bomb right on the tower by Dre with that Splatling. And Blue, yet again, is pushing. Chaotic Camp Crashes, knowing that they need to push this thing. Keep the momentum going. MLG with that Fizzy Bomb. Meanwhile, Potato Chip coming in, engaging with Dre and managing to take care of their Splatling problem. Potato Chip also being able to get Chakayoshi out of the way. Continuing that push, but nope, Dre is back with that really powerful Splatling play. And that's going to be a match. That brings Chaotic Camp Crashes. That brings the current score 1-1. That brings us to Clam Blitz on the Reef.
And What is the password? Because my internet is back up and running.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Let me get you that password, Banana.
I got it.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to give Banana a chance to get in here with expert commentary.
All right. We should be good to go now. My Switch is back online with its delicious wired connection.
You need those wired connections. I'll tell you, as a streamer, I wouldn't leave home without it. Actually, I hate leaving home because then I have to go without it. So our last match is going to be Clam Blitz on the Reef. So let's get this going.
Clam Blitz on the Reef. That is once again a very aggressive Clam Blitz map. From the middle, you can reach the opponent's basket quite quickly, but it's also very easy to defend, as the defending team has a lot of raised platforms all around the basket to defend from.
Yeah, it's you know, I think one of the very first Clam Blitz, when Clam Blitz was brand new, I think this might have been the map that I played it on first. Granted, the Reef has undergone some remodeling in the couple of years that Splatoon 2 has been out, but yeah, this is definitely, there are definitely a few different ways to get in at that basket. I believe the basket did move from the original version of the Reef, you know, in this particular one, and I remember being confused by that at one point. But yes, let's see, what kind of weapons do you think we're going to see here today, Banana? What do you think we're going to see for Clam Blitz?
On this one, I definitely think that the frontline players will be out in force, because while Anchor is a very good idea on this map, it's not going to get quite as much leverage as it might on other maps. There are a lot of ways you can get around a long-range weapon on this map, and I think that a lot of players will be out here taking advantage of that.
All right. So this is the bucket-wielding bongos facing the chaotic camp crashes. Bucket-wielding bongos again is Hex, Board, and Potato Chip. The chaotic camp crashes are Dre, MLG, and Chakayoshi. Or Choyo. I'm gonna get it wrong. I know I'm gonna get it wrong, and I'm going to get killed by Choyo. So that's how that works.
All right.
Interesting. Seeing an explosion.
I was 33% right on my prediction.
33%.
We do have we have two frontline weapons on the side of the bucket wielding bongos, but on the chaotic can crashes, we're seeing a very, very supportive kid. Not very much aggression at all. Closest thing we have here is Dre on the mini splatling.
Looks like we have a football already in play.
Yeah, MLG coming in there with that custom explosher, a great Clam Blitz pick.
Yep.
Paints a lot, gets baller quite often, and just is really good defensively.
Looks like the chaotic
But it was
camp crashes.
also running a baller.
Yes. Looks like that push kind of dissolved right now.
Yeah, unfortunate miss on the part of them, but it does seem that the bucket-wielding bongos are amassing some clams. They do have enough to make a ball, and they might be waiting for a little bit more, or they might be waiting to combine them. We will see.
We have Hex coming right through mid right now. And we're seeing a bomb rush right through mid. This could very well be a push by the
Bomb rush.
bongos. Here comes that
Bomb rush,
clam.
and baller all moving at the same time.
Hex making
Chaotic
that.
can't.
Hex kind of doing all the work over by the basket right now, managing to get it to 74. But that solo push, has been
Solo
repelled.
push, not a whole lot. It doesn't look like the chaotic camp crashes are grabbing their pity climb immediately, but that is something that they will have access to when the next time that they decide to go for some aggressive play.
Exactly. Got Dre with that mini splatling, trying to hold mid and hold the right. In a 3v3, it's always a little different how you have to organize your team versus.
Excellent
versus
inkjet from Chip there. He got a clean double there with a little bit of help from Hex. Fortunately, no clam, not enough clams on hand to start a push. But Chip does have 9, and one more clam. Another push might be coming out from the bucket wielding bongos.
Got Potato Chip taking aim, and it looks like the purple push is alive and dead.
Excellent teamwork there from Hex and Potato Chip, shredding that baller.
Absolutely, yes.
The bongos do have a pretty notable clam advantage, but they're gonna have to fight through some stuff to get to that clam in time.
And it looks like that clam is going to despawn. Board doing
Is gonna
everything possible. Chip super jumping in as they regroup.
Yeah, the bongos retreating a bit, and Board getting a nice pick on the mid before DCing. Fortunately,
We do, yeah. That DC is in the last 2 minutes.
bongos do have a lead. It's definitely not out of the question for them to recover from this. The pity clam that they got from the bongos first push from the bongos is work. Gray and MLG trying to do some sneaky things up there on the side. Dre does have some clams near him, and there are clams about for him to pick up. He needs one more clam, and he has found it. This is going to be very difficult, and it does look like the bongos have stopped playing. But, oh no, Hex is back in.
Yeah, that disconnect was by Board. Board did disconnect earlier in one of the previous matches.
There is 30 seconds left on the clock, and getting that power clam in would still win it for the bongos. However, MLG with another clam looking to make another score and extend that lead a little bit.
And that
Fortunately,
clam
unless
just
they
missed.
make a really aggressive play, not quite going to happen.
Hex has
If Hex
picked up the pity
is
clam.
able to score that clam, that will win the game for the bongos. That's going to be very difficult. A good inkjet coming out from Chip,
Oh, wow.
and Hex might be able to outrun them. And
Hex
he
getting that
does,
in.
and the bongos will win that game.
Wow. Wow, short-handed win.
Incredible individual play there from Hex, outrunning the Explosher and the
That was amazing.
Umbrella.
People always caution against making those solo pushes, but in this case, it definitely worked out.
If you can get past your opponents, a lot of times a solo push will do a lot of work.
Absolutely. So we'll
Very
wait.
exciting ending to that game.
That was an exciting ending. Let's wait for a confirmation from DJam, but I believe that makes the winner of this round the bucket wielding bongos.
Test.
Yes. All right. It looks like the matches are being cleared. Let's bring up the brackets and see where they're at. I can find the right stream controls. It's always the challenge. And yes, we are going into upcoming with the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels facing the Chaotic Camp Crashes. So that will be our next sets. So that will be Rainmaker on Snapper Canal to start things out. So I'm going to rebuild the room, and we will get started very shortly. right, here we go, guys. And I will get the password to teams A and C.
Right.
All right.
So it looks like we will be starting out on some Rainmaker Snapper Canal.
Yes, Rainmaker on Snapper Canal. This one is always kind of fun for me. There are those large uninkable areas that can kind of trip you up if you're not careful.
Yes, there will be 2 routes that I expect we'll see today. One of the routes is just running it straight kind of towards the opponent's base, and that can allow the Rainmaker to get very, very close and earn many points very fast. Another route, the other route that is very popular that we might see is a push far to the left and sweeping around and getting towards the Rainmaker like that. The former is a little bit faster and a little bit easier to defend, and the latter is a little bit longer, but can catch opponents off, but can often catch opponents off guard.
All right, we have Rippy, Dre, and Kirby and TNS Splat in the room. Again, this will be the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels facing the Chaotic Camp Crashes. We have MLG back for more. And currently we're just waiting for Choco Yoshi, and then we will be ready to get this started. Rainmaker on Snapper Canal. Here we go.
And there they are.
All right. Help if I could actually use my controller for a change. All right. These look like the teams. Let's get this Rainmaker on Snapper Canal going. Yes, we're seeing 2 TNS players. I'm looking at the stream chat currently. And it looks like 2 TNS teammates are fighting each other.
What does TNS mean?
Yeah, what is
You know?
what is TNS, guys? Let us plug your team.
Right.
All right.
We have 20 seconds remaining. The competitors are locking in their weapons shortly. For this map, I do expect Dre is a backliner, so he should have a very good time with this map. On this map, there is a lot of room for backliners to have their fun.
Yeah, the backline callouts on this particular map are, definitely part of the scene. That is for sure. You can see a lot from the back.
Let's see. And Dre is going with the backline on that heavy splatling remix.
Yep. So yes, in purple we have the Chaotic Camp Crashes, and in green we have the Inaki Cold-Blooded Angels.
Alright. See over here on the left side, MLG getting a nice pick on Kirby, but Splat coming from behind to make that worthless by killing the Rainmaker.
Ooh, and MLG just barely missing getting killed by the hammer, but the Inkjet coming in and causing some problems. Tina Splat currently popping the Rainmaker. Has the Rainmaker now. Got that short lead, but yes, MLG with the L3.
Look at that again. And a minute into the game, there's not a whole lot of no team has really gotten a massive advantage yet. It's still in the neutral. The Crashes do seem to be trying to get a little bit of a breakout push here, but two of them go down, and leaving Dre as the last one.
Dre currently targeting that Rainmaker.
Splat is going for a solo push here, but it's shut down by MLG.
And Rippy with that spliff.
Troy positioning quite well to not die to that Rainmaker pop, but will go down to Rippy shortly after.
Yeah, Rippy managing to hold the other team back.
Splat making some nice progress with that
Nice
Rainmaker,
solo
getting
push
stopped
there.
at 36.
And here
Rippy
we've
is trying to extend that push a little bit with an Inkjet. Does get one, does get two. I'm not sure if Dre knows that the Inkjet is there. He might be able to get a little bit more. That he is. He might get it all the way.
Oh,
Not quite the
stopped at
KO.
1. MLG with that stop. MLG
Very
taking
clutch
care of
play on
Splat
MLG,
too.
taking down two of them. Leading to a complete wipe of the bongos.
Now, are they going to
But
push it or
it's gonna
no? Or are they going to reset? It looks like they're going to push it.
Yeah, they're in here. They're in it for the long haul, and a long haul it will be because they need to KO it in order to win this game.
Kirby with
No
the
ifs, ands, or
missiles.
buts.
And it looks like the Rainmaker's stopped.
But Dre and Choyo, his teammates, are back in the action. They get one down, two down, leaving Rippy the last up for the Crashes.
So Dre popping that Rainmaker shield. And yeah, the double team very hard to come back from with when you got both a brush and a shooter on you. Splat pushing back.
And it doesn't look like the Angels have any intention of letting up the pressure.
No, not at all.
Inkarma
Dre
and
with the
Booyah
Booyah.
Bomb coming out from the Crashes. Good special coordination. Does get one down from the Angels.
We are seeing that Inkjet again.
Rippy with a nice Inkjet pick, taking down the anchor.
Splat getting stopped right on the jump. And that Rainmaker
Time is ticking
explosion.
down. Crashes do have a little bit of an opening here, but again, they do need to push it all the way into the opponent's base. They have 35 seconds to do it.
They are trying to take it on that back route, but getting that jump, that can sometimes be a bit
Rippy's coming
tricky.
for a play. Let's see here. It is 2-2 right
Chaka
now
Yoshi has
in
it.
terms of people being up.
Pushing it right into their base. It looks like Tina Splat is stuck.
Getting it close. Rippy here fighting in at 1v1 with MLG, trying to seal out the white, but Dre gets back in.
And Kirby taking it for a
It
reset.
looks like And taking it for a reset, sending it back to middle, and this is going to be extremely difficult. They could still get there in time. Dre trying to pop it with a Booyah. They might have one last chance to make this work.
There is a disconnect, but it's not going to matter at this point.
Rippy with a nice charge hold jump shot to seal the game.
So the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels are going to take this first Rainmaker on Snapper Canal. All right. We will wait, because we did lose a player.
I believe that we lost Splat.
Yeah, we lost Splat. Next up is Splat Zones on Arowana Mall. This is our very first time seeing Splat Zones today. We'll give Splat a chance to get back in here. All right, I see Splatoon Hero X coming back. That's Splat. So Splat Zones on Arowana Mall. This is always a fun one. There's a lot of different ways to get to that zone.
Sure are. The three main plans of attack on this map are to go straight and just walk up the ramp into the zone. Another option is to go on the top left, which is a safer option to the zone, but you'll need some range to hit the zone from there. And the final option is to go right through closed to get to the zone. And that is where the close combat weapons will excel. Again, I think that Dre will probably be running the remix again. And for that Booyah Bomb, which will definitely come in handy here on Splat Zones, more so than it has in the past games.
Yeah, Booyah Bomb, you know, especially depending on the size and configuration of the zone, is able to do an awful lot to flip that zone when it needs to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how many Booyah Bombs we have out today.
We shall see. Not only is Dre running a heavy Splatling, but Rippy for the Angels is running it as well.
So we are going to see some Booyah Bombs today on both sides, and we're also seeing kind of an interesting comp. We're seeing buckets. It's your deal here right now, Banana. We are seeing buckets too.
It sure is. TNS Splat and the Angels are running a very paint-heavy comp. Between the remix and the Bloblobber, they're going to be applying a lot of paint and having a lot of good specials to paint the zone. You can see Splat here preventing that Booyah Bomb from capping by using his Bomb Rush. But for how long?
Got Dre kind of holding the zone, getting it to flip over.
All members of the Crashes up and ready to start this lockout phase.
There's the Booyah Bomb right on mid.
Choyo getting a nice double there with his sloshing machine.
Rippy avoiding a Booyah Bomb.
Looks like Rippy is going for another Booyah Bomb. And with the help of Splat and Kirby, who's coming from the side, a nice splat on the Splatling. That is 2 down for the Crashes. And it looks like this zone is going to be going back to the Angels.
Yep, and that puts a 51 tick penalty on for the Crashes.
MLG going down is going to give the Angels a good chance to set up here.
Ooh, Kirby with that shark
nice
right in mid.
Dre down there in Corp, putting up a Booyah Bomb. Gonna use it to defend himself.
Ooh, Kirby again. Just kind of controlling the zone there.
Splat is standing on the ramp and making it very, very difficult for anybody to push through the front with all those suction bombs and the splash damage from the blobs. Ten seconds left on the clock. Does look like Dre. No, that's a full wipe, and that is going to be
That looks
game
like it's gonna
2
be it.
going to the Angels.
Yep, the Angels are taking game 2 as well. So it looks like in this round.
Oh, hold on. I think I may be incorrect, actually. I just looked at the TNS.
Uh-huh.
No, TNS Splat. Yes, that is the Angels.
Yes, we have TNS Splat, Rippy and Kirby, the Inaki Cold-Blooded Angels, taking round 2 as well as round 1. So that will be the end of the Swiss rounds. That's going to bring us up into the final rounds. We will wait for confirmation from D-Jam on what's up next.
Alright, well, stay tuned, because I believe that finals will be coming up next.
That is right. I am bringing up the correct area here. And I'm going to take this opportunity to take a brief break. We will be back very shortly in the next couple of minutes. All right, everybody, I'm back here with Banana Beards. We are getting ready for the finals. Yes, that's right. It is the finals of the story mode tournament today. We're going to be starting out. We have the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels facing the bucket-wielding Bongos. Here is my guest. We have Banana Beards from Magistrate Mercs. How are you doing tonight? Tonight, whenever it is for you, Banana.
I am doing fantastic, and I'm ready to watch some finals.
All right.
You said it is the Bongos versus the Angels for this, yes?
It is the Bongos versus the Angels. So we are going to be seeing Kirby, Splat, and Rippy on the Angels facing off against Hex, Board, and Potato Chip from the bucket wielding Bongos. Let's get the team set. All right, teams are set.
We are ready to go.
Ready to go. So Tower Control on Anchovy Games. This one's always kind of interesting because you have that big vertical motion of the tower that happens kind of as you're getting out of mid. So you know, it's one of those things where I've always found that if I fall off the tower at that point and I'm the only one on the tower, it's kind of hard to get back on until the tower gets back down to the ground.
Indeed. This is just an absolutely classic tower control map. You have the start, which is fairly easy to push until you get to that first checkpoint. That's the first real point of contention. Once you get past that, the tower moves up, and that makes it more difficult for the pushing team to get to where the tower is, if they are to retreat or if they die. So, and if you push a little bit past there, you get to that point where the defending team has that large wall that they can stand on and shoot down at you from.
Yeah.
So past those first few points, the entire push is very difficult to maintain. And I'll be interested to see where they go. We have 3 rollers in the match. We have
2 rollers and a sniper
Bongos
facing a sniper, a roller, and a Luna. So this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so we see that alright, so immediately the dynamo is going to go down, and it looks like the Bongos are going to be the first to push. A little bit of a turn of events here as the Angels have taken a distinct man advantage and now have most of the map covered as well.
Well, again, with all of the rollers that are in this particular match, I think we are gonna, you know, battle for turf is going to be a big thing.
That's absolutely correct. Roller as a weapon is it really struggles to move around on its own and get into the possessions it needs to play aggressive. So having the paint is absolutely crucial for both of these teams so that their aggressive roller can do its job.
We are currently seeing that push by purple team. And again, in purple we have the bucket-wielding Bongos. In orange we have the Anaki Cold-Blooded Angels. Seeing a little bit of lag in the room. And it looks like the bucket-wielding Bongos have taken the lead. Looks like the lag issue has resolved itself. Kind of a roller war in mid right now. Looks like Splat getting splatted right at the super jump landing spot. And Kirby trying to shark those kills, but unfortunately, Potato Chip kind of seeing what's going on from the top of the tower. And Banana Beards has had to take a quick break. We'll be back shortly. We have Splat with that Dynamo, kind of in a war. I'm seeing a Dynamo fighting a Luna Blaster. Now that is something unique. And it looks like the Dynamo using all that ink, Splat with all that ink. Getting bored, but Potato Chip kind of coming in there, but Rippy taking down Potato Chip in a sniper battle. Again, this is very unique in terms of composition for this type of tournament. Rippy with that Splat on Hex. Rippy taking that tower. Unfortunately, Rippy not able to make that full push. Splat trying to get the tower, but no, there's just way too much purple coverage there. But Kirby coming in with that splashdown and with those flicks. This looks like a great time for the Nocta Cold-Blooded Angels to make that push. Try and get it past at least 50. There's still time. Still a lot of time for this map to change. And we are seeing the Nocta Cold-Blooded Angels just clearing. That checkpoint. Splat trying to get back on the tower. And that's going to be a match. So the bucket-wielding bongos take the opening round here. And now everybody's back. Welcome back, Banana.
I am back.
All
And
right.
that's very interesting, but the Bongos did in fact take the first game because earlier in this tournament when the Bongos and the Angels fought, the Bongos were defeated 2-0, I believe.
Yes, that is right.
So the Bongos are back, and they're back in force, and they are coming to win this tournament.
So we are coming up on Splat Zones on Mako Mart. This is actually one of my favorites, actually, for Splat Zones. I always enjoy this one. You know, the zone is easy to find, and you know, there are a lot of ways to flank the zone. That's actually what I really enjoy about this particular map.
Yeah, just as Tower Control on Anchovy Games is a classic example of everything that is good about Tower Control, this is a classic example of everything that is good about Splat Zones. This is a map where you want to obviously, you know, play neutral, and then when you have the zone, you try to lock out the opponents from every angle you can, and when you're pushing back into the zone, you want to build your specials and come back in as a team. Classic example of Splat Zones. One of my, again, like Stata, this is one of my favorite Zones maps.
Yep, this is a classic map. They got this one right. We're seeing the roller charger composition again, except this time we're also seeing some shooters on each of the teams.
In fact, yes. The Angels coming out with a very paint-heavy comp. They have a Booyah Bomb, a Bomb Rush, and Bubbles. Very well equipped to take that zone.
You see Hex with that Splash Neo going head-to-head. Sniper.
Zone will go to the bongos first. Kirby using his bubbles here, seeing if he can take some of the zone back, but both of his teammates will go down, and that's going to be really tough for him to paint by himself. At least he is not dying, and Rippy is back to help him.
So Hex kind of coming in and trying to clear out as many of the cold-blooded angels as possible. It looks like that's a complete
wipe.
wipe.
Was Hex by himself or if Chip chipped in.
I think Chip was chipping in too.
Very quick triple on the part of Bongos. The Bongos are running away with this.
You got Splat with that Booyah Bomb, but Hex coming in right behind Splat. Hex getting Rippy as
just
well.
cleaning them up. And this is going to be very difficult because I don't know if he can pop these bubbles in time, but
Yeah, that.
yeah, just a very,
Wow.
very convincing game there from the Bongos. Showing that
Absolutely.
they mean business.
Well, and I think
Played that lockout phase very well.
Hex with the Splash-O-Matic definitely making an impact on the team there.
Yeah, Hex did an excellent job in that lockout phase. Him and Chip worked together very well, and just about every time that somebody from the Angels decided that they wanted to drop down, Hex and Chip were there to cover it, and they just covered it and covered it and covered it until the timer hit 0.
Yep, yeah, keeping that zone covered. I mean, that is the key to winning. As obvious as it sounds, you know, there's been a lot of times where I don't see that, and you know, it's when the plan comes together, it all looks good. So next up is Clam Blitz on New Albacore. Tell me how to play this, because I don't know how to play this this particular map on Clam Blitz. I never can get it right.
This, in my opinion, is one of the absolute most difficult maps to learn how to play competitively, because there's so many options and they're like all good. So there are 3 ways to get to the clam basket on this, which is a lot for a Clam Blitz map. You can go across the bridge in the middle, you can go up to your opponent's kind of top left area and jump down to the basket.
Yep.
Or you can go to the far right and push in through that street to get to the basket. All of different weapons do better at different routes, and like many Clam Blitz maps, generally you want to push from more than one at a time if you can. Although Albacore in general spices this map up even more because anchors dominate this map. It's not unusual to see a lot of anchors, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it here as well.
Well, I think we only have... Wow, we don't really have any what I would call major anchors. I mean, the longest range right now is that Squiffer. We've got a Squiffer and 2-brush combo on the bucket-wielding Bongos.
What I do think is the most interesting thing comp-wise about this situation here is that the Bongos are coming out with 2 Inkbrush Nuevos. Inkbrush Nuevo has beacon and missiles, so I imagine that they are probably trying to outpace the Angels on this map.
I think so. Well, and being Octobrushes too, those definitely have a lot of stopping power when it comes down to it. But Potato Chip, holy cow, with that Inkjet right in mid, taking care of business.
Great Inkjet. Potato Chip throwing that ball away, creating a nice distraction and distracting Splat long enough for Hex to come in and help Chip. Going for some of the same stuff. Rippy drops and does get the pick on Chip. Board saves that ball.
Ward kind of getting out of dodge. Ooh.
Excellent play. Oh, I believe he thought he had hammer there.
I think so, yeah.
I
I have been known to do that, where I think I have the wrong special, or I think I have a different special than I actually do.
Yeah.
Pop it at the wrong time.
Yeah, even at the highest levels of play, sometimes if you just play a weapon for long enough, you start to think you have a different weapon special.
Rippy almost getting there with the power clam, but getting stopped. We are almost 2
We are
minutes in.
approaching. Yeah, we're almost 2 minutes into this match, and neither team has scored.
In fact, I'm not
the
seeing
map is
a lot
kind
of
of messy.
The map is very messy.
Both-
In fact, there's nothing that says one team controls it versus the other. Trade right and mid.
Yeah. Rippy with 7 clams, kind of chilling over here by this clam basket. Might try to get something cheeky
Ooh,
but
potato
Chip
chip
on
with
the other
that
side
close range squiff.
with another threat.
Wow, potato chip just kind of spliffing everybody out of the way. And there
First
is
score
the
of the
first
game
push.
will be the Angels. I mean, my bad, the Bongos.
Yeah, Bongo's
They're not going
definitely.
to get a whole lot of bang for their buck, but if they can prevent the Angels from scoring, then they will win this game.
Well, we're seeing the Angels coming out. It looks
Two
like
and 10
they
to
are
score. Rippy
making a push
already
in.
going straight for the basket.
Oh,
Chip
and that
with a
squiff.
clutch jump shot to stop that. Very well defended there on the part of the Bongos. And as they push in, the Angels did not secure very much map control, so the Bongos have all of it. And they just need to hold out for about 1:45 seconds to win this game.
Now TNS Splat coming in there with the suction bomb, managing
Black
to
getting
take
a
out
nice
both.
triple kill there.
Yeah, look at that.
Cost him his life, but his teammates now have an opportunity to take some control.
And again, those octobrushes, they can just create a lot of problems. Hex just kind of defending, and making.
They did do a great job of walling them out.
There's Hex again, getting splat. Yeah,
Bongos taking the mid control back. 1 minute left on the clock for the Angels to make a play.
It was a fantastic run by Hex right there. Stopped by Kirby. Rippy with that
getting a
ink
nice
chat.
ink shot on Chip. Going down to the brush though.
Yeah,
It's definitely
Hex-
a difficult thing for the splash player to do. Is that Inkjet is just very difficult to not die to an Octobrush.
Rippy managing to finally stop Hex there. Rippy trying to
Angels
put
do
together a
need to
plan.
work on making a clan because there is 20 seconds left.
And it looks like you ask and they deliver. Knocky Cold-Blooded Angels, they got that clam in.
A few clams and they will have the lead. Rippy has a few. Can he get enough in? Kirby needs to get
Oh.
one of these clams in. He has a baller. He might be able to get it.
He might
If
be able to
just
get
throws
it.
One
He's
of them
got to
in.
get one in. Oh,
He did not.
Oh, wow.
And that is gonna seal it.
That is gonna seal it. It's gonna be 74-75.
That'll be a 3-0
That is a
victory
3-0.
for the Bongos. Coming back from a 2-0. What's very interesting is that when the Angels and the Bongos played in bracket, the Angels beated them 2-0, and the Bongos bounced right back.
Yeah,
and
they
came back
definitely
here
did.
for 3-0 in finals.
So yeah, that is the finals. Wow. So, this is a story mode tournament, and in every story there's a final boss. I think we have a final boss that is on the way. let's find out what's going on. That should be the end of this set. That is a 3-0 in the finals. So we aren't going to see Rainmaker on Inkblot or Zones on Wahoo, the infamous circular zone.
We won't see that, but what we will see is some newcomers to the tournament, sort of.
That's right.
The returning champions of the last tournament will be coming and playing the winners of this tournament. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned. All right, guys. Yes, that's right. We are just getting out of the initial rounds. Let's take a look. Let's take a look and see what's going on here in the standings. We are coming up on the final round. So yes, the final boss is coming up. That means that yes, the bucket wielding bongos are going on to face the final boss. And yes, in case you didn't know, the final boss is Krusty Sean's Crackers, the last tournament winner from last month. So welcome back to Krusty Sean's Crackers. We have Drago, Zuzi, and I believe Simone will be filling out that roster. And yes, I don't have my game audio on, but it looks like everybody's here. Are we ready to go, Banana?
I am ready to go.
All right.
I have not seen anything of this final boss yet, so we will be
Oh.
starting off fresh for terms of knowledge of these guys goes.
All right, so yes, this is the final boss. So we will be starting out right now with Clam Blitz on Sturgeon Shipyard. That's right, Clam Blitz on Sturgeon Shipyard. This is again one of those maps where there's a lot of ways to get to that clam basket.
There sure are. You can drop in from the left, right, or you can even go up to your opponent's snipe area and throw them in from there. This is a controversial Clam Blitz map due to how quickly you can get it and how you can kind of be on their snipe and kind of camp the defenders out. But because of that, it adds a little bit of complexity to the map that isn't really present in Clam Blitz maps overall.
So the final boss, yes, is Krusty Sean's Crackers. So it's yeah, we will see what happens here. Krusty Sean's Crackers last week or last month I should say was able to squeak, I wouldn't say squeak out a victory, but get a very convincing victory in the tournament pool last time. Let's see what happens. Let's see how on fire we really are today with the bucket wielding bongos, because I think they are kind of on fire right now.
They certainly do have the momentum going in, and I'd be surprised if we don't see at least some of that momentum transferring over here into this game one. It looks like the bongos are going to stick to their guns on the Squiffer double Octobrush comp.
Yeah, and that has been very successful for them, especially seeing Board and Hex with those Octobrushes. Definitely, it makes it really hard to get past if you get too close to them. Looks like Hex has already gone down. Zuzi currently making some clams in mid. Zuzi kind of targeting there. Here comes the missiles, and
Good
Zuzi,
set of missiles.
Wow.
Take out dualies.
We got Board with the brush coming up.
Now mid control will probably shift back a little bit more towards the bongo's favor.
And it looks like Board found Drago.
Got a nice pick on those dualies, and we have the clams, the perfect opportunity moment to push. And push they will.
Push they will. Simone getting that clam in there.
Drago will take down 2 of them, and Drago will get a nice triple there, capping the push off at only 74. Something that can very easily be come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Drago currently with that carbon deco. I've faced off against Drago more than once in my streaming career. And it looks like
Nice shot there from Chip is going to seal off the wipe, and the bongos will once again have control.
absolutely. It looks like the bongos are definitely have a big advantage right now, and not a huge advantage, but a reasonable advantage in turf coverage. Again, those Octobrushes able to provide an awful lot of coverage.
Drago getting a nice pick, and another member of bongos going down as well. Only one up for bongos right now is Chip, and he is out of position to defend this score that's coming in.
And Drago gets
He might be
climb
able
in.
to stop that second ball. Does not.
Nope, Zuzi getting that ball in. And it looks
And
like
Simone is going to
Simone.
come in here and throw in a little bit extra damage on it. Why didn't get a kill out of it?
And it looks
Not
like
quite.
Board able to stop Simone after that baller explosion. Drago coming in from the side, but the missiles and Hex kind of putting a stop. Ooh, but here comes Zuzi.
That is that is why a lot of times when you're playing Clam Blitz, when you push, you want to make sure you have a good push, because that push that they made would not have been nearly as devastating if they didn't have their pity clam that they had from the Bongos' earlier push.
That's right. That pity clam can definitely make those counter pushes a lot more effective, especially if you have people super jumping in with that pity clam. It's amazing how quickly you can flip the score in this particular mode.
Seeing a little bit of neutral being played right now between the teams. Chip gets a nice pick on Drago.
Hex trying to come in
Looking
over the
for
top.
another one on Zudi.
Simone
Man,
with
that
the
is
stop.
unfortunate. Hex died, the ball fell down into the abyss, destroying it instantly. That is a real shame, because were that not the case, Bongos would have 2 balls on the field right now.
Drago coming in, it looks like the Bongos are wiped. Simone getting that clam in. Working down the penalty.
Drago up here trying to keep the Bongos out so that they can extend their lead, and he's doing a great job of it so far, getting another full wipe. Drago now causing even more of a distraction with his Autobahn launcher, and even another pick. Push will be stopped, but it's gonna make it even more difficult for Bongos to come back from this.
That's right. Drago is just kind of keeping his eye on where the Bongos are. Zuzi coming in with a power clam.
Nice double kill there from Chip, and you might be able to get a good counter there. They're gonna want to pick up that clam, and they're gonna get another pity clam from this push.
And there it is.
They're gonna start off with 2 power clams for this next push that they made. At least 2 available.
And it looks
Or
like
getting stuffed out by all 3 of the final boss members.
and it looks like
That's another
Drago.
wipe, and that's gonna be a very convincing game 1. Well, not yet.
There still
But
is
it's
time,
certainly
but
on the way.
Drago kind of camping the base there, but no, blue team Hex kind of getting rid of him. They're gonna have to pick up that ball quickly, but
And
unfortunately,
they do run out of time, and that is a
They do run out
very,
of
very
time.
convincing game 1 for Sean's Crackers. That is a very difficult map, though, and if you don't quite understand all the complexities to how to play it, it can definitely be a rough time.
you can see Drago with the kill count there. That is the Drago
Yeah,
that
Drago,
I have played
absolutely.
against many times. So, and yes, apparently there was a late disconnect. So, however,
Yeah.
everybody's back, so we are good to go there. Next up is Rainmaker on Kelp Dome.
Big Road Kilto. This is a it's a very special dominated map. There is one corridor that tends to make or break a push on this map, and getting through that corridor is all about using the right specials at the right time. If you can do that and get far into that corridor, that's how you make a game-winning push. Alternatively, sometimes you can get a sneaky push over onto the left side of your opponent's base.
Going over the grate, right?
Yeah. And a lot of times, if your opponents are all focusing on defending right, you can get a pretty decent push just being cheeky over there on the left.
I know that one of the tricks that I do sometimes in streaming is I'll just equip an amazing amount of run speed and just try to run it across the grates and in the opening seconds. It doesn't work as well as it used to work, unfortunately, but that was always kind of our fun way to do it.
Certainly not a bad option, and I do believe we have seen somebody on Bongo go for a splatling, so we might see a lot of run speed if they go with that pick.
All
I
right,
just
we
feel
are.
like Bongo's mixing it up a little bit, going back to the Squiffer Splash roller comp.
Well, and again, I think what we're seeing too is that Hex is very deadly with that
Ooh. There's a DC.
that is a DC. That is a DC. So if the final boss is allowed to cap, that will be it. They will have to stop playing shortly. Yes, I see the oop DC already.
Yeah.
So I think we
I
will see a
imagine
replay.
That I do think that Chip and his teammate will realize it now. Chip has realized it, I believe.
Yep.
I don't know if Board has yet or not.
Not
I don't
yet.
think he realized that there has been a DC.
I know that sometimes it's taken me a lot longer to realize it than I should.
But either way, they are gonna get. And I suppose we will ask our TOs whether or not that game is to be replayed.
Exactly right. Let's find out. So yes, Hex getting disconnected right at the beginning. We are waiting on our tournament organizer, DJam. Yes, he is confirming that that is a replay. That is a replay, so we'll wait for Hex to get back in the room. Yep, Drago is saying redo it if we have to. Sometimes it is hard to tell, you know, especially in a situation like this that somebody has disconnected on your team. You know, sometimes you're going all out and you know, you're kind of looking at the map and you're kind of looking at what's in front of you and you don't realize that you maybe lost somebody, especially if you're not in voice communication.
Yeah, and voice communication does provide a lot of extra advantages that you don't get without it, and the ability to know if one of your teammates is disconnected is certainly among those.
Absolutely, yeah. I know that these teams, at least for sure, the bucket wielding bongos, they only had about 6 hours to practice together, and you know, whether or not they were able to do that today is kind of a question. Whereas, meanwhile, you know, the final boss here, Krusty Sean's Crackers, they've been able to play together for the last month, so they have that kind of a little bit more synergy available to them at that point. So, you know, this is an uphill climb for sure for the bucket wielding bongos, but we're seeing some really good plays.
One thing that the bucket wielding bongos are definitely going to need to adjust for is for this map is that they definitely need to be shutting down Drago. Drago absolutely just performed very incredibly in the last game, getting 20 plus KA. Drago, his playstyle is he has a rushdown playstyle. And if bongos can paint a little bit more, it's going to be very difficult for Drago to accomplish that as well as he has been.
Very true. Very true. Drago is one of the more aggressive players that we've seen here. And yeah, you do have to watch out because when his kill count starts going up, it just keeps going up. So we're seeing the bongos with both teams basically with the same comps as they had before.
Indeed.
Zuzi kind of...
Seeing Chip is the last one here. There is
a disconnect.
Cheeky strats being...
We do see a disconnect. Simone has disconnected from the final boss.
Neither final boss member has noticed the DC yet, to my knowledge.
You can kind of see Drago what he's up to there.
Drago doing plenty of sharking there. I think
they're
Drago
starting to
has
realize.
noticed the DC.
I think they're starting to realize that there is a DC.
Yeah, they have in fact noticed the DC. I think this game will end up getting replayed.
And Hex is going to take that over the grates. Kind of ink a spot. Yeah, it looks like the bongos are going to redo this here. So yes, we will. Third time's a charm. Isn't that what they say, Banana Beards?
Indeed, they do, and I think, and it's only fitting. This tournament started with a situation like this, and it is to end with a situation like this.
Very true. Very true. It's seeing this again is makes it definitely interesting. So
Perhaps it won't quite end with this, but the last set will contain a situation such as this.
yes. Hopefully this will. Hopefully all of the technical difficulties or the tentacle difficulties, as the case may be, will be handled. So we have Simone back in the room.
I do fear for Simone though, as that is his second DC of the set. If you recall in game 1, he DC'd at the last second.
That's true. That's true. So it could be some internet issues out there. I'm checking my internet connection right now, and I'm looking good on my end. So definitely there could be some traffic issues between Simone and the rest of us. That is one of the disadvantages of the Splatoon networking architecture, is that it is peer-to-peer, and sometimes the weakest link can actually create a lot of problems.
Certainly.
Okay, so
Dedicated servers for Splatoon 3, please.
So I have been notified that there are no more DC redos allowed. If somebody disconnects, play hard.
For the tournament or for this?
It looks like for the rest of this set.
For the rest of this set, no more DC rules.
So let's see what happens. Let's hope that everybody can stay connected.
So everything so far, Drago in the spot he had, it's a nice double to start. That's going to transfer to right off the bat. Final boss is looking good.
Yeah, they definitely were able to get that wipe at just the right time. They are making that trip around the right side.
Good armor coming out from Simone, complimenting Drago, who gets a couple of nice kills.
And
you know,
that is going to be a cap.
There was no DC in that match.
No DC.
But you might not have been able to tell, because that was another very convincing game from Final Boss.
Krusty Sean's Crackers kind of cracking things up a little bit here. Pushing us past.
Yeah, crack-a-lackin', as the kids might say.
Crack-a-lackin'. I think that was the telephone boss that was... as long as we don't have to deal with the telephone, we'll be good, so...
Yeah, the dial-up internet boss.
The dial-up internet, yeah, crack-a-lackin', exactly. So Tower Control on Piranha Pit is next. This is an interesting. Piranha Pit is a very interesting tower control map for me. I kind of, it starts in that middle there, and it's contested, and it kind of winds its way all the way around the stage.
This is another one of those maps, like I mentioned, Clam Blitz on Sturgeon, that are quite a bit more difficult to play competitively, because of the certain map layout provides extra challenges that you might not see on a normal tower control map. This one is very difficult to play competitively, and I'll be interested to see what these teams do to accomplish their goal.
Yeah, this will be the interesting thing about tower control is it's the far pads never get used for the most part unless you're trying to charge a special. So, and with a 3v3, there really isn't an opportunity to have somebody go down just to charge specials in the back. I mean, everybody's kind of got to be on deck in this type of in this type of a match.
That's absolutely true, because in a 3v3 situation like we have here, just one person going down gives the other team a 150% man advantage on you.
That's true. That's true. It's not
Stakes
like the 4v4s.
Are very high.
Yes. So we are seeing Luna Blaster, Octoshot, and Custom Dooley Squelchers coming out of the final boss
Simone
team.
has VC.
Simone has
the side
VC.
of final boss.
So, can they win a 2v3?
Yeah, it will be up to Zumi and Drago to pull this 2v3 out.
Again, Drago's showing a lot of aggression there.
Certainly is. Gets a nice trade with the roller on tower there. But you can see this 2v3 advantage. Even though he got the trade, that's
Zuzi's gonna have to stay alive.
Bongos.
Looks like, yeah, the Bongos are continuing that relentless tower push.
And this is really tough because even if the final boss does get a trade, even a trade makes the man advantage worse.
It does. So Hex super jumping to the tower. It looks like the Bongos are going to try and take advantage of this and try and get a quick cap. But Drago's saying, nope, I'm gonna Luna Blast you, but board
double might allow Zumi to finish it up.
Let's see what happens here. Zuzi trying to keep Board away, but yeah, Board managing to take down Zuzi. Ooh, Board with that splat on Drago.
Another nice kill.
Again, if we look at the coverage right now, obviously the coverage advantage is definitely with the bucket-wielding Bongos. And that makes it really hard for the two team in order to take things back. Drago, though,
and
wiping...
Drago
and Zuzi getting that wipe.
Kill there. Yeah, and that coverage advantage, yeah, like you said, Zada, that can't be overstated in a 2v3 situation like this. Because, especially for Drago, that paint disadvantage is very difficult because his weapon does not paint that well in front of him.
Wow, Drago with that jump shot.
Drago and Zumi are keeping it up, and they do have quite a bit of the map that they're going to be using for this push, their color.
Yeah, they're definitely recoloring the map as they go along a little bit. Drago leaving the tower to try and avoid getting killed. Again, that range issue. Potato Chip with the Squiffer.
Drago and Zumi cleaning house. Do bring it down to a 2v1 right now. Hex playing it smart, waiting out the rain before coming in.
Zuzi kind of on the
Chip
flank
gets
there.
a nice pick on Zumi.
Drago quietly pushing. And there,
That's gonna be it for Drago.
Drago in
almost
that,
coming back.
Zuzi almost able to get onto that tower. This
Mere
final boss
6
is
points
tough.
away. Even with 2 of their members getting so close to getting that game-winning push. Drago getting another splashdown kill. That's the second of this game.
Drago with a direct on Hex. And that's a wow, Drago taken down 2.
Another nice double from Drago. Drago's aggressive performance in this match is definitely circumventing that 2v1 disadvantage a little bit.
Zuzi on the tower, but yeah, Hex coming in with that Luna Blaster Neo. Now it's a Drago with the Luna Blaster. But yes, yeah, they're just respawning as quickly as they can. The Bongos definitely have their hands full.
Certainly do. 20 seconds left on the clock, but the final boss is still intent on pushing this.
Kind of reminds me of the Octo expansion Super Ultra Mega Boss. Just keeps coming back.
Sure is. Chip coming out here with his Inkjet, trying to end the match. Zuzi under a lot of fire from a lot of angles.
Oh,
does get taken down, and that's going to be it.
That's going to be it.
Bongos will take game 3.
So that's going to force us to game 4. That'll be Splat Zones on Skipper Pavilion. So I think this one, in a lot of ways, can go either way when we move over to Skipper Pavilion.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. You see again there, Drago getting up big amount of kills. Just
Yeah, this is
absolutely putting in the work.
putting in a lot of work in order to keep this, in order to keep the final boss alive, even shorthanded. So we've got Simone back. So let's set up splat zones on Skipper Pavilion.
I feel like this final boss set, Zad, is very appropriately named because a lot of these maps have been, like I say, difficult maps that are really hard to learn competitively. This is another one of those maps.
Yeah,
Splatstone Skipper is a really unique balancing act between wanting to have people in the middle to prevent pushes from the middle and people on your opponent's side to prevent pushes from there. It's a really interesting balancing act, and a lot of the aggression on this map revolves around targeting the location where the opponent isn't defending.
yeah.
In the 3v3, where you can't send 2 and 2 to defend those spots, I think that the winner of this game is going to be who capitalizes on which side is not getting defended by 2 players.
Yeah, and there's so many ways to get to the zone on this particular map. You can go immediately right down through mid, or you can go to the left and around. You're right. It's very hard to tell where to be and who to send which direction. You can already see that they are kind of splitting up a little bit.
Drago on the roller this time, getting taken down immediately. All 3 of the
Wow.
I forgot their name.
The
bongos. All
Yes.
3 of them coming down through the mid. Getting the zone successfully after taking down Drago on the way.
Yeah, I think bottling up Drago is really what the bongos need to work on.
And they've been doing a great job of it so far. It's been about 40 seconds into the game. Drago hasn't gotten a single kill and has died twice. Doing a great job of shutting him down this match.
So Hex coming in.
As I say that, Drago does land a kill, and he's coming in from that middle. Using his baller, trying to get that zone. Will not quite succeed, getting taken down again. Bongos are a lot better at containing Drago this game, using a lot of teamwork and 2v1 stuff to take him down.
Yeah, and again, I think having so many different routes into the zone, sometimes that can help, but it also leaves a lot of things, to chance. We got Board coming out right away.
Hex and Chip are doing an excellent job of staying together and focusing on the same targets. Drago again coming into the zone and again getting taken down. Bongo's coordination looking a lot better this game than it has previously in the set.
Board kind of showing us a little bit how the Bongos got here.
And that's going to be the first possession loss of the game for the Bongos, pushing it all the way to 10. Bombers coming out from the middle. But getting taken down by Drago, and Drago gets 2, Drago gets 3. Now you can see why the final boss is in this set.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't have any disconnects, so we are all good right now. Zuzi kind of keeping track of the bottom mid. Zuzi taking out
a trade
Hex.
happening up there up top.
Oh wow. Final boss doing a great job of blocking the Bongos out.
Chip does get a good pick on Drago there. Bubbles coming in from top mid. The lead will go away, but those bubbles are popped.
There they are.
It's going to be a change of possession, giving it back to the Bongos.
Bongos have it again, and with that 70 tick penalty. Wow.
Board taking down Drago in the middle. And these guys are set up to make another push, take back this lead.
Here comes that Booyah Bomb. Not enough to stop the timer. If the Bongos
coming
can
in
keep
from
it
mid,
painted,
getting taken down once more. Simone by himself might get rushed by Hex. Is rushed by Hex and dies. Is usually the last one up to prevent
a
the
lead
sleep from
change.
being taken away, but it is going away.
Oh wow! Just like
that.
every final
Just
boss
died
match.
too.
Oh my gosh, the Bongo's coming back. That's gonna force Clam Blitz on Gobi Arena. But wow, that was an impressive back and forth. I mean, both teams were able to lock. Each team was able to lock the other out when they needed to lock them out. And again, it looks like Drago getting bottled up.
Drago was getting bottled up. That was the major difference, in my opinion, on that match, is that Drago was coming in from the middle pretty much every time he came in, and when he did, the combination of Chip, all three of them really, Chip, Board, and Hex, all three of them would gang up on Drago every time he came, and as a result, Drago was getting stuffed out.
Yeah.
Now, with Drago getting stuffed out, they were able to keep their cool a lot better.
Definitely a competitive match there. So this brings us to our final. And of course, with the final boss, you always go the maximum number of rounds, don't you? you know it's the final boss. And
in true final boss fashion, the boss does appear to be defeating the heroes at first, but the heroes start to run it back.
That's right. So yeah, we have. Will we see a reverse sweep? Will the heroes be able to get the final boss? We'll see. Clam Blitz on Gobi Arena. This one is definitely a tricky one. A lot of obstacles to that clam basket. Depending on what route you take. I've lost more balls underneath the basket on the upper part than I care to talk about.
I'm not going to lie about this one, Zada. I think that this is probably the most difficult set of 5 maps I've ever seen in a round of a tournament ever. And I've been in a lot of tournaments.
Well,
the only one of these that I don't think is very difficult to play competitively, it was Rainmaker on Kelp Dome. And this is another one back here on Gobi and Clam Blitz. It's just very difficult to learn how to play competitively.
Yeah, these are not easy maps at all. It's I think in the entire tournament we've only seen 2 that are kind of your classic maps, the Rainmaker on Kelp Dome and the splat zones that we've seen on Mako Mart. The rest are ouch. Very communication centric.
Yeah. And of course, it's only fitting that we end on a difficult map on most likely the most difficult mode.
Absolutely. All right, here we go.
And you see the Bongos returning to their double Octobrush strategy.
And this time we're gonna see a lot more shooting coming out from the final boss.
Hex almost had a clam already. He got to 9 before he was defeated in the middle there by Drago.
Potato Chip with those snipes there.
Board got a nice double there, finishing up the white.
Potato Chip coming around the back, but Drago just waiting.
Yeah. Fortunately, it does appear that the Bongos will still maintain their map control in the middle, with Hex sitting there, giving a jump to Chip. Hex with a nice pick on Simone, and getting another ball ready. Drago once again getting 2v1'd right there.
And Hex getting that ball right in. Again, Hex, very strong Octobrush player. Simone and Drago are defending though, although it looks like Simone is currently the target of the Tenon missiles. Drago taking down Potato Chip. Drago getting bored.
Board almost sneaking in there to extend the push, but instead that's going to be the end of the push, as a full wipe on the side of the Bongos is going to put a lot of clams and map control in the hands.
Oh, and Potato Chip stopping Drago with that snipe, preventing that clam from going in the basket. Hex increasing the coverage there. Simone making a new ball, taking down Hex. So will Simone get one in? And yes, it looks like the final boss is getting one in.
But it doesn't appear that the final boss is going to be getting any extra mileage off of that.
No.
And so they will stay trailing the bongos.
Yeah, there's a lot of trading going back and forth. A lot of, it seems like on each team there's always somebody down, which means that they're kind of fighting it out pretty close right now.
Yeah, and again, in another 2v2 situation, like it has been for much of this match.
I think patience is going to be key for both teams.
Drago getting 1 kill, getting 2 kills.
Here comes
And
Zuzi
that
with
is
the clown.
going to probably... ooh.
Oh yeah, potato
Fortunate
chips.
missed ball there from Zuzi.
Oh, and it's my favorite kind of miss ball, actually, and by favorite I mean least favorite. It's when you throw the ball and it's on target, but somebody kills you just as it's about to go in and it drops.
Yeah.
Potato chip with that great
And-
save.
Although Final Boss did fail to get a ball into the basket, they did succeed in destroying the Bongos' pity clam. So they will have to create another one of those if they want to extend their lead. Two down on the field right now for Bongos, as 15
Simone's
clams
making
are
that
piling
push
up.
in.
Simone's making the push. He gets the ball in. And that's going to be the take the lead for the final boss.
Currently 71-80.
Drago trying to sneak in here to extend the push a little bit. Pops his baller, gets a nice kill with it. Does not extend the lead well.
Hex right there to stop it. Zuzi waiting for that that basket to
has
fall.
had-
Here, oh my gosh, here
It's
comes
been a
the.
DT.
Oh no.
Chip getting 2 for the price of 1 with that bomb there. Zuvert throwing away the final clan. Not a terrible idea. But the Bongos are down a player because of a DC. They do have 2 clams on the field, and they would win if they are able to get both of those clams in. But that's going to be very difficult for them.
Yeah, this is going to be really tough.
Hex does win the 1v1 against Drago. Suzy goes down as well. Simone weakened by the clam
Hex
basket.
making a push in, but
Does take down Hex.
Potato Chip is going to have to do something pretty quick. Drago
Potato
coming
Chip
in.
losing the second ball. If Drago can defend that ball until it is destroyed, that's going to be the end of the game. Or if Simone can end it early by putting a ball in, that works too.
And that's how it's going to end. So the final boss. Ooh, we're going to have to come back next time and find out whether we can build beat the final boss.
Yeah, really, that was a great final boss. The one of only 2 last game situations in this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So pushing it all the way out to 5 was definitely pretty amazing stuff. So yeah. So what do you think? What do you think, Banana Beards? You mentioned that the maps were pretty tough. What do you think? What do you think of our final boss here?
They performed very well, especially on that last map. They just had a really great clam economy for once they got going, they just kept going.
Yeah, they definitely did. But I do have to do a huge shout out here, though, to the Bongos, because they had like 6 hours to prepare once the team was announced, and they were able to pull off some pretty good stuff, especially when they started realizing the situation they were in with the final boss. They were able to make those adjustments and figure out exactly where they were going, who to target and who to stop. And I got to say that was they were able to pull things together really quick.
They were, and another thing I will give to the Bongos. It's kind of an unfortunate thing that happened in that last game, is that they did have a DC in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, and that's that is rough. That is rough.
Yeah. And especially in a game that's 3v3 to start with, losing one person in the entire game is very, very difficult to come back from. Because even at your best, even when everybody's alive, you're by default at a 150% disadvantage.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is rough, but that is Splatoon, though. That is the state of Splatoon 2. So I want to thank all of our players today. It was great to see everybody out. You know, we'll go down the list from the Inaki Cold-Blooded Angels. We had Kirby, Splat, and Rippy. On the bucket wielding bongos, who are our runners up today. We had Hex, Board, and Potato Chip. And we can't forget the chaotic camp crashes. That would be Dre, MLG, and Choyo. So, you know, again, want to congratulate our final boss for taking everyone down. That is going to be it for our broadcast today. I again want to thank Banana Beards for being here. It was great to spend the last couple of hours with you. Good to see you again. Appreciate all your time. Any final words for our audience today?
Thank you. It was fun to be here.
All right.
And I hope I might be able to come on again sometime.
All right. Well,
anyway, thank you all for watching, and see you next month.
All right, guys. Have a great night. We will see you soon. See if I can... we have to play the final boss winning music. We'll see you guys later.
Do it again. 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 Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again.
Got a brain like bubblegum.
Do it again.
Blowing up like cranium.
Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again.
Got a brain like bubblegum.
Do it again.
Blowing up like cranium.
Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again.
Got a brain like bubblegum.
Do it again.
Blowing up like cranium.
Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again.
Got a brain like bubblegum.
Do it again.
Blowing up like cranium.
Do it again.
Oh my god, what have I done?
Do it again.
All I wanted was a little fun.
Do it again.
Got a brain like bubblegum.
Do it again.
Blowing up like cranium.
Do it again.